Hey everybody, this is Megan with MK Let's Art, and as promised last week, I'm going to go over my um, plein air watercolor kit. So the stuff that I bring with me when I'm going to paint watercolors plein air outside of the studio on location. So let's get to the stuff behind me. Okay, so first things first, depending on how much stuff you want to bring with you, you need something to carry it in. Um, it can be as simple as just a small pencil case, or um, I like a men's toiletry bag. Um, yeah, opens up nice and big. You can fit a lot of stuff in there, including, depending on the size, you can even fit a sketchbook in there. So first things first, is your carry-all bag. I don't know if you could see, there's a little bit of like a stain here. Get it in some sort of fabric and not leather, because in between colors, you can actually wipe off the colors on the bag if you don't mind getting your bag dirty. I don't mind. I think it kind of like adds character. So yeah, that's that. Next up would be your palette. There's a few different things, different ways that you can go about this. Something like this, pretty basic. I'll go over this in a sec. So this is actually a pretty cheap palette from Blick. This comes out. You can use all these little compartments for mixing your colors. This pops out nice and easy, so you have more spaces in here. There's also like a little finger ring thing back there, so I don't know, so you're less likely to drop it, I guess. I don't know, sometimes I use it, most of the time I don't. And then you can get these little plastic, I think that this is considered a half pan. You can get these in packs of like 12, 24, I don't remember exactly. Personally, I like to write the brand, I do an abbreviation, and write the name of the color on the side using a permanent marker. Just so that way if I ever have a question later down the line, because I don't always keep my palettes exactly the same. Sometimes I swap out colors, so this way if I swap them out and throw one of these little half palettes in a drawer somewhere, I don't forget what that color is. So you can also buy these half pan palettes pre-filled. I like to fill them myself. It's a little bit more economical. You can, purchase tubes of watercolor paint like this, and you just unscrew the top and squeeze out some of the paint into one of these half pans until it's filled to your desired amount. Let it air dry, and then it's just like any of the pre-filled half pans that you might purchase, but I believe this is slightly more economical to buy a tube of paint yourself. Okay, so speaking of economical, these tins at Blick Art Supplies are fairly inexpensive, but if you're looking for the super duper cheap way to go about things, I would suggest just any old tin. I've also used like Altoid tins, but so you can take your half pans and you can get a sheet of magnet paper that has like a sticky side. So you just cut out little squares, rectangles to fit the back of your half pans, and stick it to the back of the half pan. And guess what? Now it sticks in there. These all have, magnets on the back. Boop! They don't fall out. Is it a perfect solution? No. If you're a little rough with the bag that you're using, that you have your paints in, if they aren't in there, really tight, they can shift around. But hey, it's an economical way of, getting a tin and, something to carry your paints around in. You can buy those magnetic sheets with a sticker back in, I think, pretty much most art craft stores. Yeah. And then same as this one, you can just use this part of the tin back here to mix your colors. Anytime that I put together a palette, I like to cut out a sheet of watercolor paper and make a little reference for myself. I just make a grid and write in the name of each of the colors in the order that they appear in my palette, and then just paint a little sample so I have an idea of what each color roughly looks like, so I know what I need to mix to get the color that that I want, that I need when I'm on site. And I leave that in there like so. So those would be palettes, and look at this thing, just yum. It swallows it. It just eats it all up. Oh my god, I'm so sorry for being just so corny. Okay, what else do you need with this palette? We need a way of activating the paint, right? And painting. I suggest bringing a little misty spray bottle along, so that way you don't have to dip your paintbrush into water and then into every single color and then wipe off in between. You can literally just give it a spritz, and now all of your colors are, for the most part, ready to go. You can let them sit for a little bit, give them a little bit more water. You can get a little bit closer to target a specific color if you don't want to wet them all. So yep, spray bottle, and then little travel brush with, all right, these gets me every time. So instead of righty tighty lefty loosey, they're kind of backwards. But yeah, you can just refill it with water, and then let's see, you kind of like give it a little squeeze, and that'll bring some of the water out, and you can then pick up your color. Why not? Bring it over here, and then that's going to bring me to, oh no, what do I do to clean off my brush in between colors? So like I said, you can, if you have a cloth bag, you can kind of rinse it off on that, Or my favorite, sweatbands. And I actually specifically bought mine in white so that they would actually get stained with the paint color, because I don't know, I like kind of grungy, used looking kind of things. So yeah, you can get like a pack of these, and it can just like sit on your arm as you're painting. Let's see, what color? We'll make it a little more yellow. Okay. All right. So let's say I've been painting, and there, I don't even have to hold anything. I can just clean off my brush right there. It's on my wrist. Ha. Pretty cool, huh? In addition to one, or you know, if it's going to be a long day, if I'm going to be doing a lot, these they get, you know, wet after a while, so sometimes I bring along a second one. And I also tend to bring along just random rags. I've got a whole bunch of rags in the art studio. When I'm done, just throw them in the wash. And this is nice for, say, like you have to move quickly from, you know, one spot where you're painting to another. And oh my goodness, but like, you know, this color is still wet here and I may not actually need it. Well, I can just use my rag to just kind of clean some of this stuff up and move right along. Oh, this is a kind of like a medium-sized brush from, I don't know if you can see that, Sakura. I really love this brush. As you could tell, it's pretty well loved. I can't get the color out of it anymore. I have also gotten a larger brush, and also a finer one. I use them once in a while, but really that medium one tends to do the job. When I talk about painting plein air, at least for me, I usually go out and just do like quick sketches. So I'm using a fairly small sketchbook, usually something about like this big, or this one. They're about the same size. Or even sometimes something as small as this one. Although I've started to find that maybe something this small doesn't really allow me to move my hand when I'm sketching quite enough. So I've been shying away from these smaller guys, opting for something a little bit more like this size. But you know, everyone's different. Different things work for different people. So, you know, you gotta try things out. Find what works best for you. This is from a while ago. This is, wow, May. This is almost 2 years old. This is a watercolor sketchbook by Etcher. I have enjoyed their sketchbooks in the past. I don't know what their paper process looks like at this point in time, but I will say that in the past I have enjoyed their sketchbooks. They hold up nicely. They're kind of fun. This fabric, so you can kind of customize them a bit. Although, as you can tell, these more like faux leather kind of covers have not stopped me from customizing in the past. So these are Stillman and Byrne Zeta series. So the Etcher sketchbook that I had, this was a cold press, which is nice. But then for a while there, I was really enjoying working with a hot press, which is a very smooth paper. And this Stillman and Burn Zeta series was really nice for that. It's got, do you have any blank paper? Last one, all right. Really nice, whoops, bright white paper. Yeah, so these are great. Let's see. Also, I mean, you know, the etcher also had some really nice bright white paper with just a bit of tooth to it. Nothing too crazy. So that's nice. Nice sketchbooks. I'm not sponsored by anyone, so I'm not getting any money from, you know, mentioning any of these brands. It's just the stuff that I have used in the past and found works for me personally. Everyone has their own preferences, so, you know, if that's a starting point for you, great. Or you probably have your own stuff that you like, but that's some of my kit. Put that back in there. It is in there. Look how nice all this stuff just fits. Okay, and then we've got, of course, my pencil sharpener that I was talking about last week in my little plastic bag. Always bring a couple pencils. My tiny little fine eraser. Regular eraser, kneaded eraser, in a tin, so it doesn't get hairy and dirty. And then, so anyone who's familiar with some of my work, I tend to do a lot of pen and ink work. So for that, I like to use fountain pens. This is an extra fine point. I like details, so I go with the tiny, tiny little nibs. Then I also have some vintage flexible nib. That's kind of cool. What's cool about Esterbrook pens is that you can get these converters that allows you to use their old vintage nibs in with some of their pretty newer pens, and then this is the ink cartridge that goes along with it. So that's nice. And then you can also always find yourself a really nice old vintage flex pen. This is my absolute favorite. I think this is probably about 100 years old. I tend not to bring this one out with me doing plein air stuff. I tend to keep this at home. But anyway, you could throw that in there. I put mine in a case if I'm going to bring that one along. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much all told on my kit. And then, you know, barring a sketchbook, may also choose to just bring sheets of watercolor paper on a clipboard, or I actually took an old sketchbook cover and the back and made an insert to go into this little portfolio, and then of course and a clip, because, you know, windy and you don't want the paper going anywhere. So you can just, you know, cut the paper to whatever size you want, or bring a spiral bound sketchbook, whatever works for you. But yeah, there it is. I hope that, you know, I hope that this helps. Maybe give you some ideas about what you might want to bring along if you're going to be doing some plein air watercolor work. Yeah, and get out there and happy painting. See y'all later. Peace.